Hi, everybody. I'm Jim Clark, and welcome to the women's edition of Cavs Corner. We're talking with Cavalier head basketball coach Maria Marchesano. Maria, off to a great start, 3-1, but it all goes back, I think, to that Kent State game, the exhibition game to start the year.
Yeah, that game definitely gave us a boost of confidence. I don't think the girls realized what they were capable of until we got out there and played against, some good Division I athletes and then hung with them. And then, I always preach just give ourselves a chance to be in it at the end of the game, and we were there, and we actually took control at the end of the game and held on to that lead. So that was a really fun experience for the girls to pull off a D1 win. Obviously good for the school, for the program. So, yeah, that was an exciting start.
I thought one of the keys, you led the whole ball game. They tied the game at 78, but you got the lead right back and held on to it. It really gave them a boost.
Yeah, we didn't panic, which, being my first experience with those girls, it was good to see how they reacted because obviously I didn't know. And they didn't panic. I think Kent State tied it up twice there late in the game, and we didn't panic, and we took control and actually extended the lead there late in the game. So that was nice.
Your heart beating fast then?
Oh, definitely. Like I said, I didn't know what to expect going into that game, but when most of the game was over and we still had a chance to win it, it got exciting at that point. And I was happy for the girls. They've worked hard, and I kept telling them if we do these little things, we'll have a chance to win. And sure enough, they did it, and we were in it.
And you head down for the crossover with D&E and A and B on the next Friday and Saturday. Awful start. You hang tough. Well, at the end of the first half, you're down by 14 with like 3:23 to play. You cut it to 4, set the tone for the second half of Davis and Elkins.
Yeah, it did. We definitely struggled with their press early on in that game, but they didn't panic again. Kept fighting, and obviously I was hard on them, and disappointed with the way we started out. But they fought back, and that showed me a lot too. That run that we made there at the end of the half was huge, and I don't know if we hadn't have made that, would we have ended up winning, but it was our first experience dealing with the press, and so we'll hopefully be better and more ready for that the next time a team throws that at us.
And it's on the road to boot. You're finding players making big shots at big times in those ball games.
Yeah, we had, over the course of that weekend, we had everybody that was able to play. We had some injuries that weekend, but everybody that was able to play stepped up and played huge minutes for us. Sarah Stevenson off the bench. I mean, TJ, we threw her in her first game, and she was just huge for us. And, on down the line, I mean, from the starters all the way through the bench, at some point, everybody stepped up that weekend. That was awesome.
Then you go game 2 with AB. You jump on them right away and really settle the thing early against Alderson-Broaddus.
Yeah, we did. We jumped on them. The thing I was disappointed in that game is I think we got content with that lead. And, I let them know, and obviously, in the second half, we tried to make another run, and we did all right that game. But again, we can't settle with, a 10 to 15 point cushion because in the GLIAC, that's nothing. So that was a good game for us in terms of, again, confidence booster, seeing some good things out of some players I hadn't seen yet. But definitely just to come away with 2 wins in that weekend, that was obviously a huge positive.
In a real tested Gannon, I'm second-ranked team in the country at the time. You hang in that ball game for just about the entire 40 before falling. Really played well.
Yeah, I mean, we played. The thing is they always say, it's never as good as you think, and it's never as bad as you think. And we felt pretty good about, how we played. And then once we saw it on film, we saw that there was quite a few things that we made mistakes on at Gannon. But the fact that we hung with, the number 2 team in the nation at the time, it was a game down to, you're right, the last 3 or 4 minutes of the game, and we were right there. And obviously, they pulled away with some huge three-pointers and some offensive rebounds at key times. But it was also, again, a positive. I'm not a big believer in, the good loss theory, but it definitely was a game that we could pull some things from.
You've used a word that I think comes out big, will play big the whole season. They don't panic when they get behind.
Yeah, that's a great quality to have because obviously I've only been with them, 3 or 4 months now as far as preseason and practice. And again, we didn't panic, and we stayed right there with them. And, again, had a chance, but they made a huge run late in the first half and then a huge run late in the second half that we just couldn't overcome.
Maryville Saturn, your home opener, down at the half, come back, big second half, again, you win the ball game.
Yeah, we made some adjustments at half that I think were key. I think the biggest thing against Maryville at home is maybe we had some first home game jitters where we wanted to play good in front of our family and friends and maybe we're thinking too much. I was on the girls a lot about their intensity the first half, and the second half was much better as far as intensity and urgency goes.
Right now, you got some girls fans are becoming familiar with. They're going to learn a lot about them in 3 or 4 years. Once Kelsey Thunderberg on 18 a game, she's really coming up big.
Yeah, she is. She's actually grown quite a bit since the beginning of practice until now, because that kid, she knows shoot the ball. That's all she knows. And once she realizes that she not only can score on her own, but she can make her teammates better, she'll be an even bigger impact to our girls, because she's one of the few players that can create her shot and shots for other people. And she's learning. We've seen her grow to where she's picking and choosing her moments to do each of those things, and that's been big. That's been key in our wins.
Other newcomers, Jalen Graham, we say she's 5'5", but boy, she does not play 5'5".
No, she plays huge. That kid she fills up the stat line every single night, plays her butt off. She's a positive, calming influence to even the upperclassmen. She comes up with huge rebounds, huge steals, huge stops, and she gets it in the paint and scores. The girls joke, and our assistant Drew talks about getting buckets, and that's what she does. She makes it happen. And that kid, she works so hard. When it comes game time, she's confident. She's not the best jump shooter, but when it comes to the game, she takes that shot. She believes she's going to hit it, and a lot of times she does. So far, she's just been huge for us, and I'm excited to see how her career develops.
Yeah, Audrey Battle, to get the point, 21 assists, 9 turnovers, making shots. She has really come a long way in 3 years here.
She has, and even since I've been here, I've seen big changes, and I think the biggest thing with Audrey is she's been able to run our offense like nobody else has been able to do. With the guards that we have, she's probably the most comfortable handling the ball. But it's not just about handling the ball. It's organizing the team, getting us in the sets that we need, and she's done a great job with that. And I know it's a role that, she's had to embrace, maybe not something that she's completely comfortable with, but she's getting a lot better at it.
Other starters making contributions, as they always do. Whitney Dabbolt rebounds the ball as well as anybody does. Maggie Berry, and also off the bench, Rachel Trujillo playing real well.
Rachel's playing great right now. She gives us that spark. And she's one of those kids where she just does things and you're like, how did she do that? But, the ball goes in, and defensively, she has been hands down the best at adjusting to the hands-off rule this year, because she can move her feet and keep her hands in the air at the same time. She's been a huge spark. And then, Whitney and Maggie both, they're both battling some tendinitises and some nagging injuries, but they're both still coming up huge for us. Maggie with key buckets and Whitney with huge rebounds. So, like I said, we've been getting contributions from everybody, and that's really positive.
And Sarah Stevenson, she can shoot the basketball.
She was really big in our first two games down in West Virginia with Tara out with the head injury. Sarah came up huge in those 2 games with big rebounds, big shots, and she's kind of shown us that she can be effective in our zone defense. She doesn't have the quickest feet, and she knows that, but in our zone defense, she's been really effective with understanding the rotations and getting key box outs. So, another one that has stepped up for us. And
Tara Gloop has that knack of getting to the basket among the big people.
She does. She's probably hands down our best post player in terms of offensively. She's got quite a few moves down there. She always gets the oohs and ahs out of the crowd for her spin moves and her finger rolls and all the little things she does under the basket. But she's definitely another spark off the bench, especially in terms of an offensive post threat, and that's something we need.
You talked about the hands off. Some folks do not know what that means. I can size you up once, I can't touch you again. Is that something you got to work on every day in practice?
It's something that we preach, especially because the game has gotten so physical. And in years past, guards have gotten used to being able to ride their offensive player, at least with one hand, and if not, here and there touching. And the new rule this year is the second touch, no matter what it is, whether it's a foul in our mind or not, the second touch is an automatic foul. The frustrating part is I think sometimes you're allowed that size-up touch, and I think the girls think they're still doing that size-up touch, and the refs are seeing it as a second touch already. So it's something that we're preaching, but it is a change, and I think every team is dealing with it, not just us. And one of the things that I think has helped us through that transition is the zone, because when we're in that zone, there's less one-on-one defenders. So that has actually been key. I mean, obviously the zone is something we wanted to do anyway. It's just been kind of a coincidence that that's helped us out thus far.
Next up on the road, Clarion. Tell us about them.
Well, they're a good team. They can put up a lot of points. They beat West Liberty 104-88, and West Lib's a traditionally really strong program. So definitely something that we're gonna, thankfully we have a whole week to prepare for them, especially with it being on the road. But obviously with 104, they can put up points, and they get out in transition quite a bit, and they're pretty athletic. So it's something that we're definitely gonna have to spend some time preparing for, and hopefully. Traveling's never easy, but hopefully we can make that trip, have some fresh legs, be an awful week, and make a good run at them.
Thanks, Maria. Good luck.
Thank you.
The Cavs are at Clarion on the 26th. We'll have the game live on Team Line that night. I'm Jim Clark, and that's Cavs Corner for women's basketball this week.